So, something really interesting happened to me yesterday morning when I woke up, and I'm going to do my best to explain it to you guys. But I think I experienced sleep paralysis for the first time, and it was intense. So, it was like super early in the morning. By the time I woke up and I looked at my clock and I was able to move and I looked at my phone, it was like 6:30 in the morning. So I was in bed and I was having this weird dream that the dream is like the weirdest part of this situation. So I was in this house and I was talking to the wrestler, the Ultimate Warrior, and he came up to me and he was in full wrestling garb and he said, "Hey, I just signed this contract to have an action figure made of myself." And I said, "Hey, wait a minute. I know that contract. That's the same contract that Elvira signed the other day for an action figure of herself." Now, I can explain the Elvira part because I watched an Elvira movie the night before. So that was still kind of in my head. Anyway, so the Ultimate Warrior's like, that's weird. Maybe I shouldn't sign this contract. And I said, "Hey man, do what you need to do." And then all of a sudden, after I said that, I felt this pressure like right here on my chest. And it wasn't like a heavy pressure. It was just a like a slight, hey, there's something pushing there. And by the time I look down to see what it is, something is tugging my shirt. No, I'm not talking about I'm talking about like really really going at it. And then I go to it freaks me out in my dream, right? So I go to swat at it, but I can't move my arms and I'm feeling like there's something holding my arms down and I'm starting to freak out. But then that's when I realize I'm starting to wake up, and then my brain wakes up, and I'm like, "Oh, well, this is a dream. Clearly, I'm not in this situation at all." But I'm still trying to move my arms, but I'm wide awake, so my body hasn't caught up to my brain yet. And finally, after about what seems to me like moments, but in actuality, it was probably just seconds. My arms move, and then when I wake up, I realize that one of my cats is kind of like nestled up to me and her head is resting on my chest. So that explains the pressure I felt on my chest. But it's just so weird how things that are going on around you in this physical realm can influence your thoughts and your dreams. And it was really crazy. And I'd be lying if I said it didn't kind of scare me, because what happened is I woke up and I thought I was having like a mini stroke. Like all the worst case scenarios happened in my head. Like I thought I was having like maybe a mini stroke. I was smelling for burnt toast. Thought maybe I was having some kind of heart attack, so I started wiggling my left side of my hand and my arm, and nothing was numb. So it really kind of freaked me out. But then I remembered there's this documentary I watched on Netflix called The Nightmare, and it really just documents people who have chronic sleep paralysis and how they experience sleep paralysis. So I kind of went back and I watched some of them, and a lot of people who have or experience sleep paralysis fairly regularly kind of have these weird dreams like I had, where there was some kind of unknown force just kind of like tugging or pulling or maybe holding you in place. A lot of people kind of liken it to like spiritual possession. I know that there are a handful of people, one of my friends included, who experiences it as, I guess, extraterrestrial, like the cliche tall gray alien extraterrestrials you see in movies. And I talked to her about my episode, and she's like, "Oh no, that's pretty par for the course." So I just thought that was such a weird, crazy experience that I had to share it with you guys. And now, unfortunately, I just have this story. I can't physically take you into my dream, but just know that it was kind of bonkers. And I'd also be lying if I said I wasn't slightly scared whenever I was going to sleep last night. It's like, I don't want to experience that again, because it was not fun. It was very intense. I kind of hope I never experience it ever again, honestly. But Ultimate Warrior, Elvira, action figures, and a ghost tugging at me and holding my arms in place is what caused all this. It was very intense. Have you guys ever experienced sleep paralysis or anything like it? If so, tell me your story in the comments because I'm super fascinated by this now and I want to research more on it. So if you have a story, a similar story, or a story of a friend, leave it in the comments and let me know.